So hey guys, here we are for another episode of your fitness and mental health podcast with me, Coach Rupert Wilson. This week I have Seb Yates joining me from Yates & Sons, which is now a CrossFit building company.
I'm trying.
Yeah, as well as obviously all other types of building. Amazing mountain biking, adventures, and generally covered in tattoos from head to toe.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Dad of three.
Three now.
Boys.
Yeah, three boys.
3 boys. So obviously we talk about lots of different things on this podcast, but our main focus is fitness, being a dad, one of those great things as well, being a busy dad, life being busy, and how we use fitness, and we use just try and stay a bit more mindful to stay involved in all-round life, really.
Good balance. Try and find a good balance of all of it.
Exactly. We met in one of my favourite places, New Wave CrossFit. Big up Fraser, and did a bit of the old CrossFit. But then I feel like you were one of the people that just like saw something I'd posted one day, and I can't remember how, I just said, oh, do you want to join in my lads and dads crew just to support the team? You're obviously not vocal, which doesn't need to be, but you were, for some reason, I feel like you're an advocate of my energy to start with.
I thought it was good. Just more people chatting about anything. Doesn't have to be fitness or mental health and really strict. Just a few busy guys doing your thing, you're working, you're juggling kids, fitness, whatever it is. Like, it is good to have a place to just go, hey, I did this today. Like, has anyone got any tips? Am I doing it right? You know, how do you fit it in your weekly calendar? Like, have you got any tricks that are good, and someone might pipe up and go, you know what, this really helped me, or I struggle with this. And I think it's really good to have a space like that, just to sort of just bounce some ideas off. Because if you don't have that, you're going to just talk to a wall. You've got no one to talk to about it, really, have you?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing there because we obviously did a bit of behind the scenes and just catching up on what we're going to talk about today. So I'm not sure if that was a pun intended, but we'll find out later. So anyway, so you're obviously pretty nailing the fitness at the moment. You're pretty good at the CrossFit.
Enjoying it at the moment. Yeah, it's going really well, consistent.
Yeah.
And
building CrossFit gyms, so spreading the word of CrossFit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fell into it, and it's been my sort of favourite thing, because I obviously love going to a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great atmosphere. I train there, I want to be there, and then just go, done. Love it. So being able to get the opportunity to build one is like even better, because I want to be there anyway.
Yeah.
So just building a gym is just like, oh, this is awesome. I'm building a playground that I can go and train in as well. So it's like a nice job, for example. I'm not going to do a bathroom for someone and come round in a week and go, excuse me, can I have a shower? You know, you're building something that's staying there, and it's like a cool place to go hang out, train, you know, meet people. It's wicked. That's why, it's been like...
Your bathrooms are pretty nice, though.
They're pretty nice. I wouldn't go knock on Mrs. Jones's house, though, and go, excuse me, you know that shower fitted 5 years ago?
Yeah. So obviously, yes, you are a man of the trades, a tradesman.
For a long time now.
Yeah.
I think since I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah, been out
in the countryside, though, because you've pepper potted some different locations to me. You've crept your way in from the West Country, have you?
No. I've been Cobham, Guildford, Spain.
Nice.
Now Ascot.
Okay.
So
good.
All over, really.
And then, basically, we did a bit of CrossFit, and now you're doing that, and then you were in the men's group and just chatting in some of the lads, and so I think one of the topics came up about mental health.
Yeah.
And then you just casually
I piped up.
just on a Wednesday afternoon, I think, just dropped in quite a chunky message.
Super casual.
Yeah.
I think maybe I had a beer.
Yeah? Oh, nice. And then, so basically you'd had a story to tell, which we can share.
Yeah.
Shall we? I don't even know how you start.
I don't know how to start if I'm honest, because I'd never talk about it.
No.
If we weren't doing this, I probably wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like a few close people know. But yeah, went through a real tough time, like bad energy, bad stuff going on in my personal life. And I guess it basically wasn't training, wasn't eating. I was drinking quite a lot to sort of deal with the stress, what was going on. And then...
And driving around in, what, a Ford... Or no, I don't mean... Sorry, Ford, if you're listening.
It wasn't a Transit. It was a Volkswagen, so the good ones. But it was leaking carbon monoxide into the cab. So if I did a journey more than 20 minutes, I'd start feeling real dizzy and thinking like, wow, what's going on? Like, have to pull over and have like half an hour to myself to feel slightly better. But it was quite intense. But carbon monoxide poisoning, a little bit of that in there. I developed psychosis.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. So like me and you talking now, I have no idea that you can develop that and not really have any signs. There's no signs. Like, okay, you can start acting weird. That's probably a pretty big sign, but no idea. I just was thinking what I was thinking. So loads of stress going on. And it's kind of, I started, it was almost like, you know how so much of a digital age we are now. You know, you've got your watch, which is doing your heartbeat and your ECG if you want it to, and tell you what to go and pick up at the shops if you want it to. So it's almost like I started thinking my phone's watching me, my watch is listening, all that sort of stuff. I couldn't sit down and watch like a film without thinking that the words and like even I remember watching The Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay.
And even that, I thought there was stuff in there that someone put in to like send messages to me.
Yeah, because with anything with art, it's meant to resonate with you. But obviously at that point when your brain is fracturing, it's replaying you messages in a funny order to therefore give you this like mirrored effect that you're inside of the Truman Show.
Yeah, exactly. I've never watched a Truman Show, but
wouldn't now.
This is what was in my head. In my head, there was a panel of people like the NASA space station, and TVs everywhere, and all these things from that sounds well big-headed that I think that many people are watching, but all these people like tracking my heart rate, watching what I'm watching, sending stuff through radio, film, anything. So I was getting these messages. So moving on, I was working and I was not eating. I wasn't sleeping. I was drinking to sort of suppress all the stress, I guess. So going to work, and then one day I was just like, I've got to get out of here. Like, I'm too stressed. I've just got to go home. So I was driving and, started hearing things on the radio that were, like, so directed at me. That wasn't on the radio, but I heard it. So I heard stuff like, you know, going to smash your teeth out, going to turn you into jam.
Any flavour jam, or was it just jam?
I would imagine strawberry or raspberry, you know. But, and then I heard a few songs and I remember them. One was Ellie Goulding, Gonna Set Your House on Fire. Those lyrics, I was like, they're going to set our house on fire. Great, this is their plan. They're telling me all this. And there was another one that was George Ezra, I think, Green, Green Grass, which to me was like, you better get out of here and go and like get rid of yourself in the grass, basically, and never be found. That sounds mental. I know that.
Yeah.
But those were all the messages through the radio that were coming to me, for me.
Yeah.
And I truly believed it as well, like 100%. You couldn't tell me otherwise. Like, that's what was going to happen. So, I was driving around and then I was just like, oh, okay. So they're going to burn my house down. They're going to knock my teeth out. They're basically going to torture me. These people that are sending me messages, they're tracking my heart rate. They want me to kill myself. So I had luckily a blunt knife in my pocket.
Not a Stanley knife.
A Stanley knife.
Oh, but blunt.
But it was well used.
Oh.
So I was just like, I was driving around like freaking out sort of thing, just fully having an implode brain. Like, didn't know what was going on. So then I was just like, right, cut my wrist while driving. And then, so then I kept driving, trying to like, couldn't answer the phone because I was like, well, it's bugged. I can't answer any phone calls, can't make any phone calls. Fully going crazy. So I just kept driving around, not really know, I just doing laps up and down, like the A3, I think.
Wow.
Just not really going country roads, off-road, like, don't know where I was going, to be honest, and I was just kept smashing my wrist with this knife over and over. Just obviously like, if that happens, then that's easy out, done, dead. But it's not that easy, especially with a blunt knife. So I was just driving around and around, and then these messages were coming through. So I was like, the messages were like, okay, for some reason it turned into my brain like, they're going to kill my parents and set the house on fire. So obviously coming for me. So I pulled out there was like a little high street I was going through, and there was a guy walking down the road, and I couldn't use my phone to call the police. I couldn't go into a police station because the spies would have got me. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I wrote down like murder and arson and wrote my mum's address. I couldn't use the phone, so I left the phone and everything in the van because the phone, I thought the microphone was picking up everything I was going to say, so I couldn't even wind the window down and go, "Hey, mate." So I jumped out, ran across the road, gave him this note.
To a stranger?
To a stranger.
In the street?
In the street, bearing in mind I'm covered in blood.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And I handed it to him, and I was whispering like, please call the police, please, you have to. And he's like, first like took the note and smiled, and then he was like shaking. I was like, poor guy, man. Like,
sorry, did you ever see him again?
No.
Oh.
No.
That'll be one for another 10 years.
Yeah, probably buy him a drink.
Yeah, you just bump into him in a coffee, in like buying his petrol.
Yeah,
one
just be
day.
like, sorry about that, it was a bad day. But
that was a bad day. Because those of you listening right now, it was more than just a bad day. And then jumps back in the van.
Jumped on me straight away, gone. So then I was just like, don't know where to go still, like blood gushing out. Van inside is covered. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to a remote field and I'll just get it done then. So got to a point where I was like, right, there's no going back now. It's not like I can just walk back in the front door and be like, good day, everyone. Like, I'm going to go to bed early. You know, just too far gone. And I was like, this has got to happen. I can't go back. Like, I've got to get this done because that's what's going to happen. They're all going to get killed and the house is going to be burnt down. So at one stage, I was like, right, this is enough. They've been tracking me for long enough. Let's disappear. So I took my phone out of my pocket, launched it out the window, took my watch off, chucked it out the window as well. And I had my passport with me.
As you do.
Which, yeah, annoying now actually. Getting a replacement passport was a nightmare. But
especially when you're known as when you're a psychotic on parole, they probably weren't keen to get that printed up, were they?
It was difficult. So, and you know the new passports have that little chip in them.
Okay.
So I was like, well, that's chip. They're tracking me through that passport. Bosh, out the window. Yeah. That's gone too. So then I drove to a remote field. I literally just couldn't drive there fast enough. I was like, they're right on my, like in my head, they're right on my tail. They're behind me. You're like, they're going to catch me soon. Let's go. Let's get it done before they do. So I pretty much screeched up next to a field, left the engine running, jumped out the van, started running through fields. So at this point, there's no going back. I'm gone. I'm done. This is it. And I remember thinking, trousers. They've probably put microchips in my clothes as well, as you do. So get rid of the clothes, strip them off, knife in my hand, let's keep going. So I'm running through fields, jumping through fences, let's keep going, let's get far away. And I saw helicopter like circling, and I was like, the spies have sent one out. They're really good. They're tracking me with a helicopter now. Like
that good, it's Goodfellas, wasn't it? No, yeah, Goodfellas, when he thinks the helicopter's following him.
Never seen it.
Oh, you never seen it? That one you can see.
That'll be a good watch.
That is a good one. Because they were really following him.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, so he's paranoid thinking the helicopters are above him and they're following him because they really were following him.
That's exactly it, yeah.
So they were following you. Helicopters.
I found out later.
Yeah.
But actually, like, I fully believed that they were following me, but it was a group of spies, basically. Yeah. So I'm in the middle of a field, see a pond, try and jump in and like breathe in water or hold my breath, pass out, whatever. It didn't work. It's really hard, actually.
To drown yourself in a puddle?
Yeah. Well, it's a deep puddle.
Okay.
But it's actually really difficult. So I ended up like kept on running, and then I saw a couple of dog walkers, and like one stopped, turned around, like, you okay? And I just was like, kept running or hid in the bush or something like that. I can't remember. But I was like, yeah, fine. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, again, these must have been triggering phone calls left, right, and centre by this point.
I think they probably. But probably like that helped me because they're all like giving a pinpoint of whereabouts they are.
Where is naked said tattooed man?
Yeah, basically. And then I got to another, I think it was like a garden or something like that. Another pond there, did the same thing. Didn't work, jumped out. So at this point, I'm obviously drenched, covered in blood, naked. Then this Land Rover starts driving across the field, and I was like, they finally found me. They're going to kill me now. Brill. But they just wound the window down, and they were farm workers, obviously found out. And they were like, "Are you Seb?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay." Wound the window up, drove off. And I was like, "Why have they just found me? Why are they driving off?" I was like, "All right." So I've given up by now. I'm done. So I walked behind it, like followed it round like that. And then as I followed it around, like this, I guess, hedge or something, 3 or 4 BMW police X5s turn up. All the doors swing open. Like all the police, armed police, machine guns point towards me, sort of surround me in a semicircle, screaming like, "Drop the knife!" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've got a knife in my hand. I'm covered in blood, of course." Dropped the knife straight away, and then I just got pounced on. And then, by that I was like pretty, lost a lot of blood. So luckily they found me at that time, and there was like, apparently, what do you call it? CID, cops in disguise.
Yeah.
Loads of people, balaclavas, all that, trying to find me. I had no idea, just saw a police car. I was like, okay, cool, here we go. And then they put a mask on me with adrenaline, started so basically after cutting my wrist loads and nothing really happening and running through fields, like my ankle, twisted all my ankles, running through fields, all this uneven like ground. I started like cutting the backs of my knees as well, just like trying to just get the job done basically. So I was hacking away, and then got the knife to my throat, did that, like cut that straight open. So yeah, covered everywhere, cuts everywhere, awful. So then they were like what do they do? So then they eventually got me onto a stretcher, mask on.
They put some strange clotting powder in.
Anti-blood clot.
Yeah.
Injection, or I think it was an injection, and then like straps.
Yeah.
Like belts.
Yeah.
That was pretty horrible. But before that, they were stretching me towards the ambulance, and then I was like, I still thought they were spies. Even they're fully police officers. Like, I know that now. Still thought, these guys, they've really gone to a lot of effort to dress up as well. Fully believed it. So I was like, right, I could still probably get away, I reckon. So I undid the straps in the stretcher while they weren't looking and all chatting. Jumped off, legged it, just literally down this path. And I kid you not, the biggest bloke I've ever seen. He was probably about 7 foot, 4 foot wide.
A man mountain.
He was a man mountain, yeah. He was a huge bit of man. He was chasing me, and he shouted like, "Don't run, mate. There's dogs down there." And I was like, I'm not scared of dogs, so I keep going. And then he just said, and it was quite disarming. He just went, "Oh, come on, mate. Don't make me run." And I instantly was like, poor bloke. Yeah, fair enough. I just turned around, and then I was like, sorry. And then I got in the back of the ambulance.
You're lucky you didn't get tasered.
Yeah, shot.
Or shot, yes. I mean,
that'd probably be worse.
Yeah, true.
So got into the back of the ambulance, and then they arrested me on suspicion of murder.
Because
I wrote that note, and I was covered in blood.
Yeah.
And there's people phoning up saying there's a guy covered in blood, obviously. Yeah. So that was understandable.
But had they also, do you think now, had they contacted your parents at the same time?
So so I think they've spoken to them, but I don't know how quick they talk.
Right.
Like, so basically police cars went to there, jumped the house, and they literally came back from doing their shopping at Waitrose. And there was like 5 police cars outside.
Wow.
So
broken the door down?
No, I didn't actually. Just like 5 minutes to like, they were fine. 5 minutes later, and they would have done it. Because obviously they're going to do that. They've had a note saying murder and arson, of course. It's mental. So luckily, no. But then they were like, okay, you're on arrest for suspicion of murder.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they said, who did you kill? So then in my mind, these spies have literally killed the parents and set the house on fire. That's what's happened. Like, I was like, they're dead. And then I thought, okay, this big room of people, they've done that now. I'm not dead. So they probably want me to admit it. So I said, I killed my mum and stepdad. And they were like, how'd you do it? And I said, I threw him down the stairs and set the house on fire. And then like the weirdest bit, so I'm fully nuts, like fully was like, that's what the spies would want me to say to the police officers, so everyone like can have an easy life or whatever. And then one of the police officers is filling out some paperwork, and he goes, house isn't on fire. And that was the first time I was like, what?
Right.
I was like, of course it is.
Yeah.
House is on fire. That's what's happened. Like, so.
And do you remember this?
Yeah.
Some of these conversations?
Yeah.
Oh, like daylight?
Yeah, fine. Absolutely
really?
fine. And it sounds mental talking about it so cash, but like, I can, because it was like my mindset then was so far from like healthy, normal brain.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that he said that, it was like, yeah, house is on fire.
Right.
Almost like,
right.
Stupid. So yeah, hospital, 2 police officers with me the whole time. And then after like a CT scan or whatever, checking all your bloods, going, did you take anything today? Have you had any drugs, any drink? I was like, nope, stone cold sober. Didn't have a big breakfast, but I had a breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, what was going on? And then 2 police officers came in and said, your parents are fine.
Right.
They're alive, they're fine.
Okay.
And I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, what's going on? So confused. Anyway, all the blur sort of in the hospital, so many people, like, so many people in the room, like 2 blood transfusions, plasma, whatever it is. Mm. And then into surgery straight away, like plastic surgery, like staple up my neck, stitch up my wrist and stitch up my legs and all that sort of stuff.
Shit.
And then just, yeah, a few days in there, can't remember. It felt like a lifetime because I can't remember. I remember being starving. I was like, can I have some sandwiches, please? And they were like, yeah, we haven't really got anything. I was like, oh, come on.
Well, hospital food's not that good.
Oh, I think in the emergency thing, it wasn't like, I don't know if it's different in where I was. But it was like, oh, we've got some sandwiches from the vending machine. I can go and get you another one. And I was like, please, I'm really hungry. But yeah, did that. And then, you know.
Then they gave you a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
At some point.
I say that mental health worker.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you did say that, yeah.
So I think they just come in, give you a bit of company and sort of talk through a few things. Some of them really helpful. Some of them, I mean, they're all great. They all did their job.
Yeah. Good. And so they did their job, but then who started unpicking the story? You.
As in?
Who did the Sherlock Holmes? Who picked the story apart? When did you start to realise that all of this was a dream, a nightmare?
I think it took weeks, because I was still, like a good 3-4 weeks I got out, I was still not right. I still thought like the people coming to help, the mental health workers, they came around the next day I got home. I thought they were still spies.
Yeah. But you kept it quiet.
Oh yeah. They're filling out this paperwork like, oh, just sign here. And I'm like, what am I signing? Like, I was so sketchy, like, so scared of everyone.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you're one of them. You've come to get me.
And your parents?
I mean, they went through hell. You know, they went through a tough time. I feel so guilty for it, but you know, like they would tell me, "No, these people are here to help you." And I was like, "No, they're not." I was like, "No, they're not." I just fully believe what I believed, and that was the chemicals in my brain, the imbalance, whatever was going on, whatever psychosis is. That's what it was. So it took me ages. Got antipsychotic drugs, which knock you out. So like you have one at bedtime, and man, it's this. It's like having jet lag when you get up. I slept for like 12 hours. You get up and you're like, oh my god, I feel like numb.
But that's the kind of people you meet on the other wards in a mental hospital. Is they're on the lithium and all of those ones, and they're like, yeah, I just slept for 14 hours, and now I'm like it's 12 in the afternoon. And they're like, maybe have a nap, like, but either way, it's obviously your brain's having a chance to reset and try and rebuild the pathways.
That's it. Yeah, I think so. So straight away, just started eating healthy, even though it was like hard to get an appetite up again, but started eating healthy, no drink, cut that out 100%. And then, and just obviously sleeping amazing because of these drugs. So, but at first, given these drugs, I was like, what are these? Because they came in a little white box with just a label with my name on it. It's like, there's no branding.
Yeah, this is obviously from the spies.
Yeah, what are these? Where do they come from? Why have they not got like a name on it?
Yeah, you're so lucky you didn't get pinned down by a nurse and have it shoved up your ass.
I mean, every cloud has a silver lining, I guess.
Yeah, it could have been worse. And then so obviously a couple of weeks after now, I suppose, I don't know why I'm interested in it, but when does the curtain start to pull back and the Truman Show starts to disappear and you start to realise that you're not in a bubble?
Actually, there was one psychiatrist, I suppose they're called, who was actually not serious, which kind of like was good for me.
Yeah.
He was like a bit jokey, a bit cool, and I was actually like, I don't know if you're one of them, like kind of diffused me a bit. I was like, this guy's all right. And he was a real positive dude, really nice. And he's like, you're getting better day by day, all this sort of stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then I can't remember a day or anything like that it just switched off, and I was like, wow. It just slowly fizzled out. And then I could watch a film again. And then I could do a journey in a car with the radio on again.
And I mean, there's another big clue there that I'm interested in. So how did you know the van was leaking? Did you test positive for carbon monoxide poisoning?
Oh, I took it to a garage, and it was like, yeah, this is leaking fumes.
Oh, but it was not like showing up in your blood that you'd had carbon monoxide poisoning?
No, I didn't ask, actually. I didn't ask any questions.
You just had a really bad headache the next day.
It was like a few times in a row, and like a few people were like, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just get dizzy and sleepy like driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And obviously I'm a gas engineer, so
okay.
In a home, you learn about carbon monoxide poisoning. It's like,
is psychosis one of the things of carbon monoxide poisoning? I think it's normally death.
It's pretty much normally death. You normally fall asleep. But like if you read about it, little exposures of it. Yeah. Obviously, I was driving with the window down because I was trying to get air in, like down the motorway, just like. Because it was horrible, and I remember pulling over in McDonald's and sitting there like, oh, give it 20 minutes, I'll be all right. And I was literally in there for an hour, just like, oh my God, I feel terrible. So I'm pretty sure it was that, like 100%. Like, it was awful. But luckily it was short journeys and I sort of broke it up.
Yeah.
Did it a couple of times, then I was like, this is sketchy.
So did you get rid of the van afterwards? Was it gone before?
I got it fixed up.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And then got rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously not explaining away mental health to be, it's always got to be a solution, because obviously not all, but I think the key pillars of it obviously is we're not all looking to fall into a psychosis and be chased by police through fields, but the key pillars is that you don't realise how much stress can affect you, and that if you then turn to drink and you don't look after yourself, I mean, you never know where the road could lead you in a way. And then that's why perhaps having good people around you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Training now, exercising. You just never know, I suppose. Because I think one of the not funny things, but one of the things you were saying in that story is that it's difficult for you still to kind of talk about it, because say, for example, you had Paslowed your hand with a nail at work, yeah? That's a story to talk about, obviously not great, embarrassing, but still a story you can talk about easily, yeah? And it's like, or you hear about people that like, oh, I caught some random like disease and I've got diabetes, People just explain it away, like, oh yeah, I've got type 2 diabetes, And still a lot of men don't talk about that as well that much. They won't admit, because they don't want to admit that their bad diet, their drinking took them to get type 2 diabetes. Yeah, true. But what I'm trying to say is that with something like a psychosis or a mental issue like this, it's not the same as chickenpox. It's not just the same sort of thing as like, oh, I had COVID last week. Yeah, I'm over it now. Yeah. Some medication. Just down the pub, like, oh yeah, well, you're not going to believe what happened to me last week.
That's so true. And also, like, with that psychosis especially, it's like you can't see it coming. There's no like, I suppose people around you, the only ones that are going to see it coming. Yeah. But like having a group to talk to is my point. Like, it is good to talk. Like, the best thing you can probably do is, like, if you are struggling, or just your stupid bit of advice that you go, I did this morning. Oh, I don't really like training in the evening. I bang out 6 o'clock class. I get it out of the way, done. Then I enjoy my day way better, and I still get my exercise done. Yeah. I'm not dragging my feet. Little tips like that might just help someone. They might not reply, but they might just go, I'll try that. Yeah. That might really help. Yeah. So, like, just a little silly piece of advice that might be silly or insignificant to you, could just be like the trigger that helps the next guy. That's just like, oh, that really helps.
And then now I obviously didn't know you before, but like you seem to just online have such a vigor for life now. Like you're very much, you work really hard, but you very much also like nice things, like, and you're very good at things, like you're good at cooking. You see, you've got an egg, like you got your boys, you love mountain biking. It feels like you've just gone like full tilt into just like live every moment. No,
100%. Yeah, and I can't say that I wasn't like that before, but I definitely like living the best life right now. Yeah, it's just unreal. Like, yeah, there's no like things holding you back. Super excited for the future, just enjoying every minute. Yeah, like exactly what you say, enjoying every bit.
How would you then give advice to somebody, not about mental health, but how would you give advice to somebody that was just like, I mean, it could even be a plumber, you know, he's still bashing out bathrooms for people in little flats, and he's thinking, how would I ever, like, how do you help people remain optimistic? I'm not asking you to fix that right now, but
God,
yeah, like
that's heavy. I mean, remain optimistic. If you ask me, you know, like driving around, you know, thinking that I'm being chased by spies, if I was optimistic, I'd probably say, no, mate. Like,
yeah.
But I suppose you just got to like, I don't know, nothing stays the same forever. Like you could be in a rut. Like I've had jobs where I've, you know, young, and I'm just thinking, this is so rubbish. Like I'm doing this on the weekend as well. I've got nothing to look forward to. Nothing stays the same. Things are going to change.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then you've got to change them yourself. But sometimes things happen in a line, and fate lines up, and you just better stuff happens.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you've got to do something about it. Change where you are. Change something. Change your diet. Change your fitness plan. Change who you hang out with.
Yeah.
Change where you go to work. Change your clients. Change something. You know.
Yeah.
And if you change nothing, you're stuck. You're going to stay there.
Yeah. I mean, and then you say with your clients, for example, like, and especially for me, it's like, do you find sometimes people don't make conversations because when you're in a depressed mind or when, you know, like, or you're in a negative mind, you're not looking up. When you look up, you suddenly go, well, hold on, like, yeah, I could do that job, like, or yeah, I could do that for you. Like, it's more like, and it doesn't have to be about construction, it could be about any job. You could be a graphic designer, and somebody could say to you, oh, I'm launching this mini brand, and you'd go, oh, that's nice. And then you just walk away. Yeah. Whereas you'd probably go, that's nice, do you want some help with it?
Exactly, that's it. I think that exactly, it comes down to like, you know, the whole positive breeds positive is so true, isn't it? Like, if you've got a positive mindset, you're walking around like you're well fed, you know, you're exercised, you've had good sleep, everything, you're lining up everything, you're not abusing anything, and you're sort of mentally happy. So you get an idea, you think, yeah, amazing. Like, you sort of give them a bit more positivity back. That might just lead to a job. That might just lead to your next job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's so true. If you're in a depressed state, you're drinking, you're not exercising, you're in a bit of a slum, whatever, or you're staying up watching YouTube too late, or whatever it is, like, you're going to wake up the next day, someone asks you something that could be your next job, could be a big break, and you're just like, oh yeah, sounds great, mate, yeah, cool. Thinking about, you know, when you get, what time can I get home from work and watch TV again? That's when you're not going to get those opportunities.
Yeah, crack open a 4-pack of beers and just look so
chill out.
Chill out. I'm chilling out.
I'm chilling out now. It's a stressful day at work. It's know, so easy to do, isn't it?
It's like when I built my shed in my back garden.
Amazing, by the way.
Yeah. No. So I built the one in the back as well.
Oh.
Now, but that one, that's the funny thing about it, is that one taught me everything I needed to know to build the other one better. Yeah. And I must say, like, sometimes you do need to buck up a job.
Yeah.
To then learn how to do it better the next time.
It's true.
I'm sure you've done a few. Like,
well, luckily no customers.
Yeah, no,
but
nice.
It was my own house that I bought a long time ago, and I sort of taught myself how to do loads of different jobs in that house.
Right.
Like, I was like, I need that ceiling plastered. Called a plasterer. Oh yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Never turned up. So I was like, right, I'm on my own. So I learned how to start plastering ceilings. Obviously, I wouldn't want to go around there now and like look how flat it is, but like, you know, I was just getting it out of my system in my own house, and ended up renovating that. Did a loft conversion, did all the bathrooms.
Nice.
Ended up doing the driveway, gates, patio, everything.
There's something really good about building work as well, though. Like, I find, like, sometimes when I do my biggest thinking about my other parts of my life, I almost need to do a job in the house so that it gives me something else to focus on.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, when I built that first shed, I was watching YouTube videos till like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, deciding whether I should do like a hot roof or a cold roof. Should I have bought a nail gun? Because do you really need to frame everything with a nail gun because of building regs? But actually, when you're doing it on your own in a shed in the garden, probably didn't need to.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need to spend £80 on a nail gun and £120 on nails that I used 5 of.
Yeah.
You know, like, did I, you know, like all those things. And then I find that like people just, you know, just it's something about building work. It's like honest labour and honest work with your hands sometimes.
I like it a lot. Like I'm super glad because actually, if I didn't like it, I'd be miserable every day. But actually, like doing a job, like give me a bench to build and stuff. With loads of, I'm like, cool, man.
Yeah,
like, I'm happy to do that. That's creative. I can make it up as I go along. And like you get bigger and projects get bigger and bigger, and they get a bit more exciting. Like,
and it does compounds, doesn't it? It's like just do a bit more maths. Do a bit more planning, get a few more people on board who's going to help you.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you go from doing a small shed to like fucking, how big was the last square footage on the place you built?
450 square meters.
I mean, and it was an empty shell of like the one you had in 4 walls was nothing. Or was it a
Beyond walls?
Beyond walls was nothing.
That had outside like timbers and a roof.
That was it. It was
a concrete pad.
It was a like a chicken,
almost like an empty chicken shed,
yeah, or like a place where cows go where you put your I don't know.
Hay bales.
Thank you. Yeah. And then you fully kitted it out.
6 weeks. I said 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I probably should have said 8, but got it done in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Which I was so happy about, and they were thrilled to bits.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's massive though. Like, you got how many showers, how many bathrooms, a kitchen area, staff area.
Yeah,
like
it's big. Yeah,
it's huge. It's beautiful, and then it's all bifolds across the front, no, or like glass something.
Sliders, yeah, sliders, and then I think the farm was supposed to clad all the outside walls, but inside, if that makes sense. Mm. And then like 2 weeks before, he was like, "Do you mind doing it? Because we don't really want to do it." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
there's so much timber to put up.
Yeah.
Like it was
all timber.
Yeah, we plied the whole thing.
Oh wow!
And they're high as well, awkward carts. But I was like 2 weeks to go, and I was like, "Cool, let's get on it." Monday morning at like 8:30, I remember Jamie came up to me. He's like, "You right?" I was just literally, my t-shirt had a wet mark like that from sweat that early in the morning. I was like, "Yeah, fine." Like, we're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
And we got it done, and I was like, "Yeah, chuffed to bits." Like, as the days got closer to the end, I was like, "I can see this is gonna actually happen now."
Yeah.
And start writing lists, like tick lists, like let's get this done today, this done tomorrow. We're gonna nail it on the head, and we got it done.
And you got some cool kit as well. You obviously had a massive, whatever the hell that thing was. The big digger that you...
They're actually not mine, but we...
But you use stuff like that.
Yeah, we do.
As the job gets bigger...
Like, the tools get bigger,
your tools get bigger. Get a scissor lift, get a couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, because you were doing shit like 15 foot, 20 foot in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big boys' toys. And the bigger they are, the cooler they are, right? I got a massive nail gun, and I was like, let's go and use this.
Yeah.
Literally just working so hard and having the best time ever.
Yeah.
Scissor lift, obviously, just going up high, that's fun.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you're just smashing out bathrooms and showers like they were like next door's business. Because obviously trying to fit a bathroom in a small house, that's when you really hone your skill to be like a proper, like, okay, I can make tile cuts within this.
Yeah.
But also when you're knocking out 6 bathrooms that are all plumb and all square, you're like, hold on, I can order 100 tiles and just lay them in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, no.
Well, it's when you got an empty shell and you're doing it from scratch, you literally make it to exactly what you know that it needs to be. So
for the bits you buy.
Yeah, exactly. So the shower tray just fits in bang. You've got your tolerances around the edge.
Yeah.
You know where the pipes are going. You know how like deep to make the walls because you know the size of the tile we're using. So you've got to do minimal cuts to make it super efficient, and then you can just go right, cut. They're all the same. Bang, bang, bang.
Nice.
Run the laser down them and everything. And when you're doing it like 4 times, we had 4 shower cubicles, right? And when you're doing it 4 times in a row, it becomes like, okay, cool. We've done it like they're all right. They're all
Yeah.
perfectly square and all that sort of stuff. So they just become right. That's
Amazing.
another day done.
Yeah.
And then they did a couple of other rooms there that all worked out a treat. So
now you've got to start probably learning about the quantifying everything. So now you're going to go back through your head and go, right, it's going to take me this long to do that. So yeah, I'll see you in 3 months.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. I mean, time scale was the thing. Like,
yeah. Is that, or do you think that's always going to be a thing now with commercials? It's more about like, we want to open.
But I suppose they could say, I want to open. You go, well, it's not going to be there. You've got to meet somewhere in the middle, you know. They could be like, well, we can put some extra hours in on the weekend or get some more people in, but it's going to cost more.
Yeah.
I think there's a good balance there of like what, you know, the client and the builder need to just be like, right, it's, you know, this is our deadline, and allow a week after.
Yeah, sure. And then because of your passion for knowing CrossFit, you also must be a bit more like, well, you want this to be nice because it's going to be used a lot. Yeah. This is a high volume area. We need to make this tougher. Yeah. Like, you know, and you, like, also you're probably envisioning more like the best way. Obviously the rig was probably designed for them, but it was still nice for you to be like, well, it makes more sense to put that there because people are going to dump their bags there.
Yeah.
You know? So then you're naturally just going to always up level and upskill into designing the best gyms possible.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, actually, even in the last one I did, it was cool because they were like, oh, we want a big bench seat so everyone can sit before their class, but I also want their bags to be stored. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, that's the best. You've got so many kit bags on the gym floor, and it just becomes messy and annoying. And there were people trying to do handstand push-ups on the wall and someone's bags were there. And you're like, where do I go? I built this wicked bench and there's 14 people to a class in that gym. So, right, measured it all out. Right, there's 14 boxes then, like underneath this bench seat there. So everyone's got a place to get their stuff out, bang, throw their bag underneath, and away they go. So stuff like that, and actually making a gym is really cool. Like, it's really fun because I'm like, oh, God, I could be a member here as well. Cool. Yeah, it's lovely.
And then just briefly on some of the culinary delights of Seb. What are these, when you finally get home after your 3-week, 6-week sessions of building continuously 7 days a week, you love to just cook some insane bits of meat, no?
Yeah, it's like it.
Where's that passion come from?
Honestly, I can't tell you. It's just like a hobby that's come out of nowhere, and it's been like a little voice from me again, like, go to the butcher. No, not one from the radio. Like a nice one from me. Yeah. Going like, going to the butcher's and seeing what they got would be quite nice. It's only down the road. Yeah. Maybe let's light up the barbie. And I just love it. And as soon as I get a good bit of meat, like a tomahawk or a T-bone, I'm just like all over it. This is going to be the best steak ever. And actually just even messing up a few is still kind of good in the long term. Yeah. I've messed up one. I was chatting too much. I did a bavette steak, which is a really thin one. And you roll it all up, season it, and then you roll it all out and literally slap it on the grill, super hot, for a couple of minutes each side. Yeah. Slapped it on, super excited. Everyone got guests around, they were like, yeah, it's going to be amazing. Oh, man. I just was blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I forgot the steak. I went back. I literally had just got it. It was like still a little bit pink on the inside, but I was like, oh man, I'm never going to have a chat again when I do it. Bavette is unforgiving though. It's a cheap cut because it's the hanger steak, it's the skirt steak. So it's like, it tightens up. Once it gets to certain, it's either but the fibres of it just tighten up when they go over. And then it'll never let go. Like it's but it's good. I mean, better than that to do it with the bavette than do it with like a freaking, know, buy yourself a £120 piece of fillet and then overcook a fillet. The best way to see your stuff then is because your Instagram is open or is it private? No, it's open. It's open. Yeah, actually, I've got 2 pages. I've got my Yates and Sons one, but I use my personal one. You use your personal. I can't do 2. No, I can't do 2 things at once. But I mean, I don't know. But if you guys want some entertainment, it's way better than mine. You think my Instagram's good? His is just every day something more random than the next. If it's not a digger upside down in a ditch, it's him mountain biking down a hill with some of the Red Bull crew, or whatever. Yeah. Or steak. Or steak, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah. So guys, if you want to check out Seb on Instagram, follow his story. If you know anyone that wants a gym built or probably even a barbecue restaurant, could do that next. I'd quite like to do that, yeah. There is a really good one called Bry. Have you seen that one? It's also in a barn somewhere. It's called the Bry Restaurant. No. That looks good. And then, so if you check out Seb Yates online. And look, guys, it's really important if you do
hit those hard times, talk to somebody, reach out to a friend, reach out to me if you want to, drop Seb a message, DM, whatever you need to do, but just don't suffer in silence. Get out there, get some, fresh air on your skin, get active, get your 3 things you keep just loving to say. Just get some breakfast inside you, get active, get
some good sleep too.
Yeah, get good sleep, and then your brain will work well.
Done.
Good.
Don't mess that up.
Otherwise, the spies are coming for you.
Yeah, that spies.
Yeah, good. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening and watching on YouTube. Check it out, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, brother.